There are certain people you don't want to mess with. These super tough contenders are the kind of people who've dedicated their lives to becoming the most skilled, athletic, or just all-around powerful people in any room they walk in. There aren't many people who could easily take them on, and today we're going on a journey to get better acquainted with some of these hardcore humans. Not just to marvel at their abilities and physiques, but also so you know not to ever get on their bad side if you come across them. Ready to have your mind blown by some serious displays of skill and strength? Let's get it on! Blessing Owodobu. When it comes to keeping an online following entertained, nobody can top the antics of Blessing Owodobu. The Irish influencer wasn't satisfied with just his 2 Arnold Classics and 4 International Federation of Bodybuilding titles, and so Instagram was where he turned. Amassing an ardently following of a few thousand can usually be attained by anyone with a good enough physique, and at 245 pounds of lean muscle, Owodobu has without a doubt got that under his belt. But to get into the millions like Blessing, you've got to have a little something extra to keep people invested. The bodybuilding Adonis regularly creates loads of gut-busting sketches and viral videos that garner millions of global views, like the time he realized there was a CCTV camera recording him at the grocery store and took to flexing his competitive poses for the enjoyment of whomever was monitoring the feed. Still, having a sense of humor isn't at all going to confuse anyone watching these videos. Just because Blessing Owodobu can and will make you laugh, I'm in love with his Brody. There's no mistaking that this man is an absolute beast, and with a build like his, nobody is going to try making him the butt of the joke anytime soon. GIGO Guru. GIGO Guru is a man who walks around calling himself a ninja, and there is nobody on earth who would dare to tell him otherwise. As a young boy, his parents signed him up for Taekwondo classes, and he's never looked back since. But of course, you don't make this list for being satisfied with mastering just one martial art, and GIGO went on to master Thai boxing, karate, and Krav Maga. Following his dream of being a true ninja, GIGO got into gymnastics and parkour and has crafted his own fighting style, the flashy one with all the flips you're seeing on your screen right now, out of his vast pool of skills to create a very unique and very deadly style all his own. Guru shows that the human body can be pushed to unthinkable limits with enough determination, as you can see with him punching a concrete floor and a tree like they're just simple punching bags without even flinching. Unless you're tougher than concrete, I'd say it's best to steer clear of messing with GIGO Guru. Ong Bak in real life. When people want to learn to fight, they usually hit something soft to get warmed up, like a punching bag or a training dummy. But Tony Jaa is not some people. No. In fact, he's a Muay Thai master who prefers hitting tree trunks and bending steel beams with his kicks over something as simple as a punching bag. Jaa makes a living through his mastery over the martial art, working in movies and TV shows as a stunt double and fight choreographer for action scenes. And it's not hard to see why casting directors pick him for their roles. But believe me, these videos of him training are far from movie magic. Oh no, they're the real deal. Tony Jaa can do that in real life, and that's what he can do to a tree. Imagine what would happen if he were to punch you. No thank you. I'm alright never knowing what that tree just went through. The video is more than enough for me to know that you should never try any funny business with this Muay Thai master. Martin Ford. If you're a casting director looking for someone to fill the role of a very scary, very big dude who looks like he rips people's heads off for breakfast, one look at Martin Ford and your search could not be over more quickly. It isn't hard to see where the British bodybuilder got his nicknames Nightmare, Hulk, and perhaps most fittingly, the Beast. I mean, just look at him. With his massive physique and intimidating tattoos, this is the guy you'd want to hire if you're in the market for a bodyguard. Either way, be sure not to let that fool you, because Martin Ford has another nickname that he's very well earned: the scariest man on earth. On top of his extreme passion for bodybuilding, Ford can really move, and he's slated to make a debut in mixed martial arts according to some sources. I'd hate to be the guy they put up against him though, because I'm smart enough to know Martin Ford is someone you should never ever mess with. J.D. Anderson. In the world of bodybuilding, strongmen stand out as some of the most fearsome contenders the world has to offer, and even among strongmen, J.D. Anderson is revered on a whole nother level. The strongman has pulled off some absolutely inhuman feats as nothing more than a warm-up, such as snapping baseball bats in half or rolling up steel frying pans with his bare hands. But that's just JD getting started. I mean, what does this guy even eat to have power like that? Oh, phone books, I guess. But if somehow that isn't enough to show you that you should not be messing with this guy, then let me tell you about JD Anderson's very cool nickname, the Iceman. No, it isn't because he ices people, although he very clearly could if he wanted to. Instead, Anderson holds a very unique world record, one for breaking the most solid slabs of ice with his head.
My question is, what the hell?
Now just imagine if your body were these blocks.
No! God, please, no! No!
Edward Hawthorne. As a police officer in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and veteran of the United States Armed Forces, it's definitely a good thing that this dude is on our team, because with physical prowess like his, he could very well be a straight-up supervillain. While sadly there doesn't seem to be any footage of Edward taking down criminals, there's plenty of clips of his insane workouts, and, well, you can just let your imagination fill in the blanks. I mean, do you really want to run from a cop who can chase you just as quickly on his hands as on his feet? Most criminals probably just turn themselves in when they find out Officer Hawthorne is on their case, because not even the most hardened thug can hope to challenge the world's most fit police officer. Many of his co-workers have even taken to calling him the super cop, and it's easy to see why. We're happy to say that with a real-life superhero watching their backs, the people of Pittsburgh can rest easy. But I can't exactly say the same for the outlaws. Asalmachi. Of all the ancient warriors throughout history, the ninja has always been arguably the most entrancing of them all. With near legendary mastery over stealth and incredible skills in hand-to-hand and weapon-based combat, it's no wonder why someone like Asalmachi would dedicate their lives to becoming the ultimate modern embodiment of the ninja. Among his incredible displays of swordsmanship are his various world records, including the most martial arts katana cuts to a tatami mat, a mat with a density comparable to human bone, as well as the fastest 1,000 martial arts sword cuts. On top of all that, he also holds the record for the fastest sword swing in the world. In 2013, Isao shocked the world by cutting a flying bullet in half.
The other one go that way. Oh, that was amazing.
Reacting to a BB gun fire directly at him in time to cut it required a reaction speed of over 158 kilometers per hour. If you're ever going to pick a fight, believe me, Asalmachi has more than proven he is the wrong opponent to mess with. Halfdan Julius Bjornsson. With a name like Halfdan, you should already expect this man to be something of a demigod. In case this is somehow your first time on the internet after living under a rock for a decade.
What did you say?
Halfdan played the Mountain in the HBO series Game of Thrones, and, well, I think you can see why they'd cast him for a character with that name. Halfdan is an absolute giant, measuring in at 6'9" and weighing an unbelievable 441 pounds of pure muscle. And as of 2019, he can add strongest man alive to his already very impressive resume. In order to maintain his Norse godlike physique, Bjornsson takes in an unbelievable 10,000 calories a day, or the equivalent of 18 Big Macs. When he isn't acting or training to be the literal strongest man on the planet, Halfdan likes scenic walks through his native home of Iceland. It's nice to see that someone that fearsome has a softer, gentler side, but definitely don't let that confuse you. He is not someone you would ever want to get on the wrong side of, because it's a pretty big side. Tony Sendman. If you've ever considered a life of crime, I think this next absolute beast of a cop might make you think twice. Meet Tony Sendman, the Miami-born Marine who sends terror down the spines of criminals everywhere. Tony enlisted in the Marine Corps straight out of high school and showed such prowess in combat that he was put into an elite mission squad, with whom he carried out special operations all over the world. Once he retired from the military, though, Tony hadn't quite seen enough action, and he decided to become a police officer, and, well, let's just say he wasn't giving out parking tickets for long. With his elite background, the extreme Marine was quickly promoted to running SWAT teams, contending with some of the most dangerous law enforcement operations around without breaking a sweat. Tony is a master of several forms of martial arts and competes in MMA tournaments regularly, as well as being a special operations weapon expert, meaning he can take you down from long or short range. He even won Officer of the Year in Miami. To be fair, if this was the cop coming after me, I'd probably just turn myself in, because I definitely wouldn't be able to sleep ever again. Tin Man. There are plenty of skilled martial artists all over the world, but Tim Man stands out as a true warrior among the rest. Born in Switzerland, Tim started training martial arts at the young age of 8 and he never looked back. He's mastered a handful of different styles since then, including Taekwondo, Wushu, American, and Thai boxing. Placing third as the reigning Taekwondo champion in his home country of Switzerland should be more than enough to convince most people that this is not someone they want to be messing with. After developing a fascination with Hong Kong-based martial arts films, Tim began studying gymnastics and acrobatics, as well as starting a career in cinema himself. It wasn't long before his hard work and talent got noticed, and it wasn't long before Tim officially got to live out his dreams of working full-time in cinema and perfecting his unmatched martial arts skills. Psst, hey, you still there? Well, since you made it this far, here are all the shoutouts we promised everyone that commented on our previous video. If you want to be shouted out in our next upcoming video as well as the ones prior, just make sure you're subscribed to the channel and leave a comment down below saying, "Pick me!" Once you're at it, you might as well leave a like too. Thanks for watching. Did anyone surprise you from this list? Would you dare to mess with any of them? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching.